Well, it's a story the Democrats and maybe even the lamestream media want to go away. The Jonathan Gruber tapes calling Americans stupid and revealing how the Obamacare law was devised to deceive the American people. All of it shining a light on how some politicians and the president are willing to do anything to get their way. But you wouldn't know it if you watch mainstream media outlets. Here are some of the stories they were covering as the big news was exploding.
Brand new F-150s.
Scaffolding failed high above the city streets.
Tonight begging for money and what the cameras captured afterward. And one of America's biggest divorce settlements of all time is voluntarily recalling a toy found in its popular Happy Meals, a Hello Kitty birthday lollipop whistle.
Wayne, Hello Kitty lollipops. They think we're suckers?
Well, it's sad, Eric. You know, it's very sad. I mean, when you think about it, here was Nancy Pelosi, for example, saying that, you know, that this guy was an expert on Obamacare and all of that and helped him draft the bill, and then she turns around and said, I never heard of the guy. Or the president saying he was an advisor, and as if the guy was at the White House over a dozen times. He met with the president personally for 4 hours on one day, and everybody is denying this, that this guy, because he's exploded Obamacare, and the news does not carry it. Why? I offer you the following. Read Stonewall. That's Cheryl Atkinson's book that's just out now about why mainstream media is absolutely convinced that they have to ideologically influence you, that they can't report the facts in the news to you. They have to report ideology. It's outrageous.
Yeah, and John, NBC Nightly News hasn't, we're 2 weeks into this story. I think the story first broke on November 7th, 2 weeks in, and the mainstream media never even touched it. Let me put it this way. NBC didn't touch it. I think CBS touched it a little bit. ABC maybe a nibble there, here and there. Why don't they bring this to their audience?
Well, Eric, I mean, the media, the mainstream media reflects the culture, and they're not interested. They're self-sacrificial. They're really amoral. I mean, we all knew that the numbers didn't add up. We all knew that, you know, essentially there was lies made to get it passed, that we all knew that all these entitlements always blow up in cost. But people supported it. The media supported it because they feel like, oh, some folks are in need, so I've got to sacrifice myself. And the amoral element comes in when you say, I'll do whatever it takes to get it done, even as Gruber did, basically lie to everyone's face.
You know something, Juan? When Mitt Romney was caught on a hidden camera talking about the 47%, that thing was viral. That thing hit every mainstream media outlet. You saw it time and time again. And some people say he may have lost that election because of that video. So why doesn't NBC do the same thing? Why doesn't the mainstream media do the same thing? Equal fare, equal treatment, balanced treatment?
We didn't know that Mitt Romney had that attitude. And remember, you know, he was always the guy who was the zillionaire who said he was firing people and all the rest. But, you know, I think the real point here is I'm surprised that you don't give more credit to Obamacare critics. At the time the bill was up, not one Republican voted for it. They trashed it. They said, here's the problems. Jonathan just went over some of them. So if you think Gruber is news, you must have missed all that happened before. Because this is really, I think the mainstream media is right.
This is news,
we do think Gruber's news because we never heard anyone say who was inside the White House, inside the Oval Office, working with the president on Obamacare, that in order to pass it, we'd have to fool the American public. But don't worry.
You know,
they're stupid. Michelle, this guy is
politics in Washington.
Let me get Michelle.
Hold on.
Accidental whistleblower.
In the eyes of the mainstream media and also Juan, a scandal is not a scandal unless a Republican is damaged. I think this story is much, much worse than the Mitt Romney 47% story, yet we don't see it anywhere. They're barely touching on it. And I think the reason why the media doesn't want to cover it is because by covering it, they are admitting that they were wrong because they supported and protected Obamacare, and Republicans, they said that this was a lie. They said that the American people were being misled, and the media ignored it. And now they're being shown that they're wrong.
Well,
they were wrong all along.
I wish we had more time because I'd like to dig deeper in that. By the way, we showed the 47% Romney interview, tape. We showed it here on Fox. Come on, fair and balanced, Juan. We got to keep it that way. Coming up, the New York Times accusing Al Sharpton of being a tax deadbeat, and at the same time, the White House seeking Sharpton's counsel on who should be our next nation's top prosecutor. Is that okay with you?
Slowly drifting.